Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your noon news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Greenville where an unfortunate accident happened yesterday that actually turned fatal. A man was struck after walking across Arlington Boulevard by a truck. Officers say the crash happened at around 3 p.m. at the intersection of Fire Tower Road and Arlington Boulevard. Police say 43-year-old Antonio McCarter was crossing the mid-block across Arlington and was hit by a truck turning out of the parking lot at Bojangles. Eastbound Arlington Boulevard was shut down for hours at the intersection while first responders investigated. The man was taken to ECU Health Medical Center where he died, according to police. Now, Greenville police say no charges are expected in the accident for the driver. And now we want to turn our attention to Charlotte, where over the weekend, Customs and Border Patrol agents were seen pulling a man from his minivan and taking him into custody yesterday in Charlotte. Now, again, one witness said that the agents treated the man like an animal. NBC's Bria Smith has more from Charlotte.
It's a bad sight to see, seeing somebody yanked out of their car halfway out, being manhandled like that.
Tidro Zergabachu is one of many witnesses to the incident early Sunday afternoon. He says it's something he's witnessed on social media, never thinking he'd see it with his own eyes.
They were treating him like less than an animal, because you would treat a dog with more, compassion than that, even one that's acting aggressively. But this guy was acting very calm. He's a human.
Along Milton Road, the community seeing the impacts firsthand, watching a man be torn away from not only his vehicle but family.
They're proud to take people away from their families, and this isn't good because, as I said, we do a lot of stuff that they don't want to do.
Giancarlos Hernandez understands that criminals should be arrested, but questions if only criminals are being detained.
They're just working. We immigrants do a lot of work that people from here don't want to do. We do a lot of hard work that they don't want to do. They just take people wherever they find.
Pastor Alejandro Montes of Casa Viva Church says his congregation shares the fears of what could happen to them.
And our church statement that we share with the congregation is number one, faith and wisdom. We live by faith, but we got a wisdom. If that wisdom just let you decide to stay at home, you will be no one's gonna condemn you because you stayed at home.
And again, that was WCNC's reporter Bria Smith reporting. We now turn to your weather forecast. It's another dry day here in eastern North Carolina. Such is the case pretty much through most of the month of November. This is our dry season, so it's not something that we were overall shocked to see. But so far this month, we have again had very little rainfall come down, and even though we do have 2 rounds of rain expected to impact eastern North Carolina this week, none of those rounds are really going to be all-encompassing or really even enough to put any sort of major dent in the drought that's occurring across the east. High pressure down to our south again will continue to keep our skies clear and our air dry. However, we've got a frontal system that'll move just north of the area, coming in late tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning. Most of the moisture associated with that low pressure system is going to be rolling across, as you can see, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, and really kind of the Chesapeake Bay area. Once you get south of the Virginia line into North Carolina, you're dealing with far less moisture. So even though we will be seeing a few drops come down out of this system, it's really not going to be nearly as much as what those up to our north will receive. And we need those drops. We are very much in need of rain. Here's a look at your drought monitor, and we again are anticipating the severe drought across northern Greene, western Pitt, eastern Wilson, eastern Nash, southern Halifax County, and most of Edgecombe County to actually expand as we head through this week. Drought monitor comes up on, I believe it's released on Thursday. So we again are anticipating this getting worse as we get through the week, even though we've got 2 rounds of rain that will be impacting us this week, none of which, again, are going to be widespread. Current air temperatures right now reading in the upper 50s to low 60s. Normal for your high temperatures this time of year is right around the low to mid 60s, generally between around 61 to around 64 degrees. Northwesterly winds currently coming in at around 7 to 15 miles an hour are raising that fire danger, because not only do we have breezy conditions, but we also, again, are dealing, like we just mentioned, with a drought across eastern North Carolina, but also we've got low humidity because of the direction of the winds. Winds out of the northwest tend to push cooler and drier air over eastern North Carolina. The cooler the air is, the less moisture it can hold. So as we maintain that northerly wind, we're going to continue to see dry air settle over eastern North Carolina, and that's going to again keep that fire danger high through most of the day. Now tomorrow, you'll note that we see those winds swing around to the south, and that will certainly do us some favors by introducing a little bit more humidity back into the air as we head into your Wednesday and possibly even Thursday. So fire danger will come down a touch, but even then, really want to highlight the fact that today is a first alert weather day because of our just dry spell. Over the past 24 hours, we've seen dew points fall between around 30 to nearly 40 degrees. That is a massive drop, and it has our dew points right now reading in the teens. Quite the opposite from what we saw just a few months ago back in July and August, when these numbers were reading into the 60s and well into the 70s on several occasions. We have now seen kind of the flip happen. Now later on this afternoon, highs likely going to be getting into the low 60s. We'll maintain lots of sunshine today, but winds going calm later on tonight with those clear skies will help force air temperatures down near freezing as we wake up early tomorrow morning. The closer you get to I-95, the better opportunity you have to see a bit of a freeze early on tomorrow. Now, we will warm up, getting to around 60 degrees tomorrow afternoon, well, tomorrow around lunchtime. In the afternoon, we're looking at the mid-60s, but even warmer weather is on the way later on in the week. So here's a look at your full 8-day forecast, going from low 60s today, mid-60s coming up for tomorrow, and then we're back to the low to mid-70s Wednesday and Thursday before seeing the mid-upper 70s show up for Friday and Saturday. Now, of course, Saturday is going to be a little bit, well, it will hold a little bit of a better chance for rain. But even then, we're not looking at widespread heavy rainfall that would, again, lead to at least half an inch or maybe even more than that of rain. It's not looking like that. We're looking at about 1/4 of an inch of rain or less for both of these systems that are going to be rolling through eastern North Carolina. Drop size is going to be small because the amount of moisture in the air is very, very low. That's all we have time for today's noon news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Monday.